I've been up here for almost 4 years now, so that's 4 years that every day I get to explain that I'm not racist anymore. So, I'm actually second generation Southern, y'all. My dad's from Louisiana, my mom's from Arkansas. And I'll clear up the mystery. I was conceived during a wrestling match. So, it gets real weird on a fishing trip when your dad explains the only way your mom can come is if he does the rock elbow, though. So, shit's not right. I grew up on a ranch in East Texas, y'all, so things were a little bit different for me growing up. Although y'all did make me feel at home. I saw a huddle house, I heard a cow moo, and I was looking for a meth head, and I was like, hell yeah, this is Texas all over. Some of y'all need to quit pointing at people, too. That shit ain't right. But, no, the other thing, the biggest one that really made the difference was my sex talk. Like, I'm sure most of y'all remember the sex talk your parents gave you, or your older brother, or the priest. And my dad gave me one, but this is what he did. He just pulled me into the front yard, and he was like, boy, you see what that bull's doing to that cow? Yes, sir. He's like, that's what you're going to do on prom night. I'm like, all right, but that bull looks big. It's going to hurt. He's like, no, you'll be the bull. I'm like, all right, but how do I get the cow stuck in the fence line? I have to deal with a lot of stereotyps up here, too. One of them that really bothers me is they're like, oh, white people don't like spicy food. How many of y'all have heard that one before? Clap it up. It is bullshit, y'all. I come from East Texas. We're like Cajuns on horseback. So, yeah, we put hot sauce on everything we eat because it makes taking a girl home that first night a lot more fun. There we go. Okay. There's always a couple people that are like, why would he put hot sauce on something? Oh, he likes it. Okay, got it. Y'all, one good thing about that is she can't say she didn't feel anything that night. No, the other one, y'all, is with everything that happened during the pandemic and the quarantine, I had to have a talk with one of my cousins, Dave, but I promised my Aunt Sherry I wouldn't use his real name, so we're going to call him David. Yeah. But I was on the phone with him, and I was like, David, I was like, you got to get rid of your Confederate flag tattoo, man. I'm like, come on now. I was like, if you wanted to get a tattoo of losers, you could have just got a Texas Rangers tattoo. Come on. Yeah. Hey, they're my team, I can say it. So, but he tried this when he was like, no, James, he's like, the flag's about heritage, just not about hatred. I was like, come on, man. I'm like, however you look, however you present yourself, that's the first example people get of you, right? That's their first impression. I'm like, just think about it. Like, if you saw somebody wearing all Dallas Cowboys gear walking into the Eagles Stadium, you would assume they're suicidal. If you see 4 old white guys sitting around a Little League field, you would assume they're a priest. Yeah. And if you see somebody doing edibles in a corner crying with a little green sash by him, you know it's Girl Scout cookie time. Yeah. I actually grew up Irish Catholic. Any other Catholics here tonight? Clap it up if you're Catholic. Okay. I almost said something, but then I remembered seeing you earlier, and I'm glad I did. So I was about to be like, why aren't you clapping? Oh. The one person that's Catholic is here is also the one person with only one arm. So, I was so glad I caught that besides like, oh, why are you being a bitch and not clapping? Oh, that would have sucked. So, here's something I learned is that I grew up Irish Catholic, and when I moved up here, I found out everybody kind of identifies as Roman Catholic in the north, and I found out what the difference is. Whiskey. So, yeah. Our communions are a lot more fun. So they usually happen at a bar, and we're patting the priest down for knives. So there you go. The other thing is I had to grow up listening to Irish folk music because my grandma came over from Ireland. And if you have never listened to Irish folk music, it is essentially just rap for poor white people, y'all. Because they talk about the exact same stuff. Like take for instance the song Whiskey in the Jar that Metallica tried to cover poorly. And it's a song about a guy who goes and robs a dude, goes home, tells his wife about it, and while he's asleep, his wife calls the dude that he robbed to come rob him back. Yeah, tell me that shouldn't have been on a Tupac album, y'all. And that's not the only one, that's just the best example I could think of, because there's also a newer one, and it's a song about a guy who goes and gets a new car, decks it out, and he's singing about everything he did to it. And how many of y'all think that's a rap song? Clap it up. All right, how many of y'all think that's an Irish folk song that I tried to make up to trick you? You'd both be wrong. It's the wheels on the bus go round and round. So, like every other comic, I'm single. So, yeah, clap it up if you're single in here. Nobody. Bullshit. Some of y'all got calluses on your hands, look like you've been jacking off a horse. It's bullshit. So, no, I know some of you were surprised when I said I was single. Y'all were like, damn, James, you look like you invented fucking. How's that possible? I actually, when I first moved up here, I had a friend of mine try and set me up with her roommate. Anybody here ever been set up on a date? Clap if you have. Yeah, how did it work out, Army? 0. Yeah, that's exactly how it always works, because you don't learn a lot about your date. You learn your friend fucking hates you though. So, yeah. My friend tried to set me up with her roommate. She was like, James, before y'all go out, I need to let you know that she's poly. And I just moved up here, so I thought it meant she liked to fuck birds. Like, I'll put some feathers on if she's hot enough. What's up? But my friend had to correct me. She's like, no, it means she's polyamorous. She likes to date multiple people at the same time. And I was like, wow, y'all are progressive in New York, because back home in Texas, we just call that a whore. I see a lot of the military flags around here and stuff. I'm a veteran as well. I did 15 years jumping out of airplanes for the Army. So, yay! Thank you. Nice to know so many people saw my masturbation video from Iraq. So, that is talented to do at 130 degrees, isn't it? So, no, I joined at 17, and sometimes when I let people know that, they'll come up and be like, hey James, when you were overseas, did you have to kill anybody? I'm like, no, I didn't have to. So like, why? Are you hiring? Do you have a job? What's up, man? Like, that's a messed up question to ask somebody. Like, nobody walks into McDonald's and asks them how many heart attacks they caused last year. And I heard from over here, I didn't see who said it, but people do say thanks for your service, and I usually say no thank you. As a matter of fact, if you're a veteran in here, go ahead and stand up and please give them a round of applause. Or if you can't stand up, make some kind of noise. So, I saw you start to, and I was like, should I say something? She might be missing a leg. And I'm like, I've already been set up once. No, awesome. So, and I'm sure y'all have this too. Like, what do you usually say when people say thanks for your service?
Thank you for your support.
All right. See, I usually go like this. I'm like, no, thank you, because for 15 years you paid for my housing and food, for my alcoholism, and for the worst fucking vacation ever. So, like everybody else gets to go on vacation to places like Disneyland or Lake Tahoe. Y'all were like, James, how does Iraq and Afghanistan sound? Sounds like I fucked your mom and you caught me. But I did have a cool first deployment. My first deployment, I got to go to Brazil, and I was 17 years old, so I thought I was going to get to see hot girls in bikinis and play soccer on the beach. got me. So, because instead I got the Amazon rainforest in the middle of the summer and animals that should have been classified as Satan's pets. Y'all, they have 30-foot snakes down there. They have fish that can swallow you whole, and they have spiders that are so big they walk around smoking cigars and having conversations. I also got to go to Korea, specifically South Korea. I have to specify because one of you would have come up, been like, James, did you get to go to North Korea? I'm like, no, I'm not 6'8" and black. They don't let me up there. So, I have the tattoos for it, though. Don't worry about it. But apparently, that's not the past. While I was over there, though, I did get to see some more cool animals. My favorite was at 5 o'clock in the morning, me and a friend of mine that were really, really drunk turned a corner and came face to face with a Chinese water deer. Now, if you don't know what that is, you may be thinking like, oh, it's cute. It's like Bambi with water wings and some low mane. You'd be wrong and a little racist. But, because what a Chinese water deer is, it's commonly known as a vampire deer. Yeah, let me describe this thing to you. It stands 6 foot tall, and it has 6-inch fangs. Yeah, and not the 6 inches y'all see on Tinder either. So, yeah, because me and my buddy were sitting there staring at it. First of all, we had to make sure that we didn't shit ourselves. So, and then secondly, we were like, oh shit, what do we do with the vampire deer? My buddy Troy was with me, and he was like, oh, I remember, I've seen Supernatural. They're afraid of garlic. So he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a little packet of Korean garlic, and throws it at the deer. And we'll miss Troy because he forgot they're vegan. So, oh well. Nobody said he was smart. So, the other thing that I get asked a lot about as soon as they find out I'm a veteran is, do you have PTSD? And yes, I do. So I'll give you a second to find your exits. So. But my mom worries about stuff like that, so I've convinced her that PTSD actually means pretty tempting, sexy, and debonair. So, yeah, she don't believe that shit either. It's fine. So. But don't worry, y'all. I am on the medication that the VA gave me. So I am on an antidepressant, and my doctor recently let me know that if you stay on an antidepressant for too long, it'll fuck up your sex life. And for guys, that means erectile dysfunction. But there's two different types of erectile dysfunction, y'all. There's the kind that make you take the blue pill, and then there's the kind that make it seem like you're always on the blue pill. Yeah, I have the second one in case you're wondering. I need this whole front row to keep your eyes above my waist. Thank you very much. There's a reason I wear loose jeans. So, yeah. But here's the thing is, it also makes you, like if you have that type of erectile dysfunction, it makes you last longer. And some ladies are like, hell yeah. And that's all fun and games till I ask for a blowjob, y'all. And y'all realize I'm going to last for an hour. Yeah, some of y'all just popped your jaw. I saw that. Because that's right, y'all. I take an AD that causes ED that stops me from getting BJs. Yeah. Tell me how I'm supposed to LOL. So, y'all, I've been doing that joke for a while. I've only had one person stand up in the back and be like, I'd still do it. And I was like, Aunt Sherry, sit down. So, no. But everybody's PTSD is a little different, so I'll tell you kind of what mine is. Like, I have social anxiety. If you're wondering how I can get up here and do this with social anxiety, easy. I'm on all the drugs your tax money covers. Thank you. So, yeah, some of y'all have a second head. It's all right. So, yeah. And the way I try to explain my social anxiety is it's almost like there's a fat little scared kid in my head, except for I know the fat's not in my head. It's all right. And the other way I try and explain it is almost like, remember when you were a little kid and you'd be afraid of the closet, you'd pull the blanket up to your neck and call your dad, and no matter how many times he told you everything was all right, you knew Uncle Bob was under the bed? So, yeah. Speaking of being a little chunky, I know some of y'all were confused. You're like, damn, James, I thought veterans were supposed to be in shape. Round is a shape. Fuck you. nothing's changed. This is still the body of a warrior, y'all. I just changed what I'm fighting against. Now instead of fighting Al-Qaeda, now I'm fighting type 2 diabetes. Yeah. Instead of fighting the Iraqi army, now I'm fighting the weight limit on toilet seats. But I have tried to lose weight over the quarantine. I reached out to the VA and was like, hey man, how can you help me out? They're like, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you a little Fitbit. It's a watch that goes on your wrist, measures the motion of your wrist. It'll tell us how much you worked out. I was like, awesome. Y'all know what I learned for the first 2 weeks? I drank for 3 miles a day. Haha, that's not where you thought it was going. No, but I stuck with it, and after like a month, I got back in touch with my doctor, sent him everything. He's like, wow, James, you're up to like a half marathon every other week. I didn't have the heart to tell him that. I took it off my wrist, put it on my dog's tail, and fed her treats. The other thing that I found out by doing that is that y'all were, people are prejudiced against chubby dudes in jogging pants. So, yeah, because y'all see somebody with a six-pack, y'all are like, holy shit, that dude just got through working out. Then you see my fat ass, and you're like, holy shit, that dude just got through working on a pizza. So, sometimes with that, though, like, another part of my PTSD is I do get a little paranoid every now and again, but I try to explain that everybody gets like that. Like, have you ever been driving? You're going down the road, you take a right-hand turn, and the car behind you takes a right. Then you take a left, they take a left. Oh, fuck. Is that the FBI? Shit. For me, that's not when it really gets me. When it really gets me is when I'm the car in the back and the car ahead of me is taking every turn I have to take. Like, is he going to the porn shop too? What the fuck? No, I do go to the Veterans Administration for my mental health. For most of you that are veterans, you know how much good the free health care works. So I try to explain that to everybody. I'm like, yeah, it's free for a reason, dude. But one of the things that I started noticing is that when you go into most VAs, they have posters all over the wall, and they're like, make sure you know the suicide prevention hotline. The suicide prevention hotline, which used to be 1-800-SUICIDE. Does anybody know what the new one is? 911? No, there's one specifically for mental health now. 811. Nope. Why are you trying to dig up the ground for dead bodies? Are y'all together? Yeah. She didn't give you that drink, did she, man? Oh, good. I'd watch it real close. So, no, it's 988 now, and it makes me so happy we got rid of the rotary phones. So, yeah. But here's the thing, y'all, is that still makes no sense to me. Like suicide prevention hotline. Like, why do we need the word prevention in there? Is there a suicide assistance hotline I don't know about? Is there a number you're supposed to call and they're like, thank you for calling the suicide assistance hotline? You're gonna do what? Take pills? Pussy. You were right to call us. We'll help you out, man. Because we're going to send you a box and it's going to contain some real important things for you. It's going to contain gun-flavored mouthwash, an assortment of ropes, and our newest book on how to tie the perfect noose by Jeffrey Epstein. I did that joke last weekend when I was down in Virginia, and one lady was like, boo! I was like, you shouldn't have been on this fucking plane. Shut up. Damn people. No, the other one that I get asked about is, do I have flashbacks? And I try and explain those to people because essentially a flashback, you just get to relive your worst moment in life over and over again. You know, kind of like when Biden looks at a bicycle. Or when Chris Rock looks at a bald person. It's fine. Yeah. Either way. But I always wondered while I'm sitting there thinking about this is like, why can't we have a good flashback, y'all? Like the first time your dad took you to a ball game, or your first kiss, or the first time you got a pinky in the ass during a blowjob. So, hey, it could all be the same day. Some of our parents care more about us than others. Yeah. But most people remember their first kiss. It's usually a good thing. Like, man, do you remember your first kiss? Either one of y'all, it doesn't matter. I'll ask you since you spilled the drink when I walked in. Yeah. Do you remember your first? You don't? The roofies work. All right. No. Yeah. Like you don't remember? Like, oh, okay. It wasn't with him, was it? I mean, I know you don't remember. Can you help her out? Was it with you? No. No. Okay. You said that like you're reluctant, like you're like fuck no. Y'all aren't Ken, are you? Wait a second. Make sure. No? Okay, cool. So I want to make sure I've had that happen. So where I was like, it wasn't with y'all, and that's my brother. That doesn't answer the question. So no. Like the reason I picked that specifically for a memory is because I remember my first kiss very well. Like I was all excited. She was really firm, and I'm not allowed in that cemetery again, y'all. No, it's so much fun. One of the other things is obviously being in the military. I got tattoos. I have 13 tattoos altogether. Does anybody have more than that? Clap it up. Clap. How many do you have? You forget? Who over here? I heard somebody. How many do you have, Sonya? Oh, okay. What about y'all back there? That table. I saw somebody clap back there. Who was it? So, how many do you have? How many do you have? 17. Nice. I love. Now I've been doing comedy long enough, so that's where I get the extra stories. I got to do a show for Columbia doctorate students. I was like, "How many tattoos do you have?" The guy was like, "1." I was like, "There's a fucking S at the end of that." So. Thank God you're going to go be a doctor, so you don't know what plural means. So, but and I'm sure y'all run into this. Do people ask you about your tattoos, like when they see? Yeah, it gets irritating as shit. But I try to explain what some of mine are. Like I had my entire back piece done, so that way if I ever go to prison, I get the top bunk. Yep. I have a Freemason symbol right here, so if we're on a first date, you know I know every conspiracy theory out there. And I was probably a part of a couple. So, and then I have my family crest on my right calf, so that way when I go back home to Texas, they know I'm part of the family that owns that trailer park. So, no, so much fun. But everybody always wants to ask you, why would you get 13 tattoos? Like usually it's an unlucky number. And for me, it's not, because my tattoos remind me of a lot of really important things for me. Like maybe it could be where I got them, what country I was in. Maybe it's what friends I was with when I got them. Like maybe they're not here anymore. But the biggest thing that my 13 tattoos remind me of is 13 times I had to pay somebody to touch me. So, yeah. No. Anybody here believe in reincarnation? Clap it up if you do. You do? One person. So one person can come back. The rest of you can fuck off. I don't care. No. No, the reason I asked that, y'all, is my last tour in Iraq, I was very lucky. I was almost killed 3 times by suicide bombers. For $20, I turned into a really shitty OnlyFans. Yeah, where I'll show you pictures of my scars. I can't show you pictures of the suicide bomber. I couldn't get them all back together again. But before that, I didn't believe in reincarnation. And now I kind of do, because since I moved up here, I've almost had 3 separate deer. And deer and suicide bombers do have something in common, and it's not the color of their skin. I know what you were thinking. It's actually because they both explode when they hit your windshield. Now, obviously, I've been out of the military for a little bit. I ended up retiring in 2010, and I'll talk about the job that I took after that. It's a little bit less controversial. So I was a cop for 2 years in northern Nevada. So, yeah, I was a state police officer up there. And that covers like Reno. Anybody here ever been to Reno? You have, and you have all your teeth. Good job. So, yeah. Yep. Or some of those fake. Which one? Yep. Cool. But like I said, Reno is actually not as bad as people think it is, unless you go back and watch the last Muppets movie. Yeah, because Fozzie cries when he finds out they have a show up there. So, but being a cop up there, you get some really cool stuff and some really good stories. And one of my favorites was I pulled a guy over at 3 o'clock in the morning. He ran a red light, and I was like, oh, he's probably just tired trying to get home. So I was like, sir, do you know why I stopped you? He's like, I was like, dude, you didn't even slow down for that red light. He's like, oh, thank God. I thought it was because I'd been drinking. The other thing I did after I finished being law enforcement was I went into retail. That is a mistake. Anybody here ever work retail? I mean, yeah. Well, you still are. But like any customer-facing job, I'll put it that way. Because here's the problem with it is the least little bit thing that happens to you, like if you get a scar, sunburn, you get asked 1,000 fucking times, what happened? Like, oh, what happened? What happened? What happened to me was I broke my wrist. Nothing spectacular. Fell off a ladder trying to help a friend of mine. And I got asked the first week probably 1,000 times, what happened to your wrist? What happened to your wrist? So I was like, I got to make up a story and make this good so people leave me the hell alone. So the next week when I came into work, the first person that asked me what happened to my wrist, I was like, oh, I was fisting a dragon and she came. So, yeah. One of the good things about comedy is you get to travel a lot. So obviously I'm coming out here, but just within the past month I've got to go to Miami and Nashville and to Maine, so in Connecticut. So it's always a lot of fun. But one of the things that I found out through travel is that people's standards change by where you're at. Like in New York, I'm about a good 5.5. That's out of 10 fuckers. So, yeah, not 100. So, but I went down to Nashville and I had women hitting on me and I was like, do I got money hanging out of my pocket? Like, what the hell's going on here? Usually I have to show my credit score for that. So, but one lady explained it to me. She goes, no, you got to understand that down here in barbecue land, this is a 6-pack. I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. But then she was like, James, because we've been talking for a little bit. She's like, James, you got a hotel? I was like, yes, I do. She's like, why don't we go back to it? But do you got any Magnums on you? I was like, I usually use Smith & Wesson. What are you talking about? So, she forgot I was white. What the fuck? So, no. Do y'all have pets? Clap it up if you have pets down here. Over here, whatever. So, what do you have?
Siamese cat.
You have a cat? Cats are not pets. They're roommates that won't pay you rent. So, yeah. What about over here? What do y'all have? What do you have? You have a dog? What kind? A what? Aw. Awesome. What about y'all? Nothing? You have a turkey? When's Thanksgiving again? What? I know, they do. But you can't cover their balls on their chin. It's a shame. So, wait, is it a tom?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But the reason I asked that, y'all, is my mom runs a humane society. She's been doing it for like 40 years. She's about to retire. And now she's going to start adopting those senior dogs. You know, the ones that are getting kind of towards the edge of life. And we were like, Mom, why would you do that? Like, that's going to be hard on you. She's like, yeah, but I'm getting up in age too. I want to kind of see what it's going to be like. I'm like, Mom, you're not going to find a dog that's been smoking for 40 years. So, not happening. The other thing is I got a dog from her because I had to. And some things had to change around my house, because beforehand, like if I heard a noise outside, like I'd just grab my pistol and go check it out. Sure. But now, because I grew up Catholic and we believe in demons, at 2 o'clock in the morning when my dog's barking into the closet, I don't know whether to reach for my pistol or reach for my Bible. And let's face it, y'all, they're both on my nightstand. So, the Bible and the pistol, not my dog. So, but the other thing is my mom was like, James, like, that's so cool, you're getting a dog again. Like, you're going to be a pet parent. No, let's stop that right there. She's like, no, I'm gonna make little shirts for you, and it's gonna say you're a doggy daddy. No, the fuck you're not. Mom, I'm from Texas. I work in New York City. People already think I fuck animals. I don't need this shit. So. All right, thank y'all so much. That's all my time. So.